Hello everybody, welcome back to 7 Days Discussions. Today I've got a notebook of notes that I wish to go over, and these are going to be talking about changes that have happened to 7 Days over the course of more or less how long I've been playing. There's been a lot more changes to the game, and some of them may or may not fall into the criteria that I'm going to be talking about. I'll get to that in just a minute. The first thing we're going to do is establish a baseline on what I mean whenever I say changes that the Fun Pimps have made. Recently, there has been a uptick in good news from the Fun Pimps. And I'm very excited about all of this. But let's not mistaken that there's not... Well, let me get into my examples, and then we'll talk about the thing that I need to talk about, because this is actually kind of an important topic that was brought up a couple of times in a few different videos that I have made over this topic. This same thing keeps coming up, so let's get to that after I talk about these. The Fun Pimps gave us the jar in our recent update, and then they took the jar away by saying that they were going to make them breakable, and then they brought them back saying that there's like a percentage slider that we can use. So good at the end, yes. They gave us the smell mechanic, which a lot of people were asking for from circa Alpha 16 or something like that. Whenever you carried meat around your pocket, people were asking for that part to come back. Well, they gave us that, and they also gave us the ability to have smell whenever it came to eating other foods that make no sense. Oh yeah, they give you loads of bullets and then punish you for using them. It used to be in earlier versions of the game, ammo was hard to come by. Very hard to come by. You would have to purchase it with the money that you have, and other items would have to be found later on. Basically, it was like, at the trader, you could go and get a decent weapon as a reward, but you would probably wind up either having to buy bullets or craft bullets or something like that. So bullets weren't the easy thing to find. Now the game has changed to where bullets you can find anytime you want to, and they're easier to come by, and now you're punished for using those because you're going to call in a screamer, which is what happens in this video. Is I went on and invested, and a screamer got called in, and I definitely did not have the ammo. And on top of that, the loads of ammo that they now give you is basically not an unusable ammo. It does the job, but at a certain point, it really is ineffective and clogs up a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing you could do is scrap it down and use it to make real ammo, or scrap it down and, well, not scrap it down. You could sell it. It makes a good sell item. So that's a thing. They give us coolish weather, and then they take the clothes from the game. So you can't bundle up in beanies and winter coats. You have to just like wear whatever armor it is you're wearing. They gave us fire. They gave us fire traps in the game through pipes and stuff like that. And they took away, before it even came out of Streamer Weekend, they had taken away the zombies' ability to get damaged by fire or slowed down by fire like we do. They gave us crawling zombies for one version, and then the next version they took the crawling zombie away and gave us a kneeling walking version that could still go under stuff. They also gave us a zombie that can fit in a 1-block hole, even though the character cannot go through a 1-block hole. There is no prone for the character, whereas there is actually, I guess you could say, a prone for the zombies in that they can move through that size space, even though they look ridiculous doing it. It used to be where whenever you did a good job for the trader, whenever you did your jobs, the loot that you would get were satisfactory. Like you would get a new weapon upgrade, you would get something that you would need for one of your workbenches, you would get a lot of health items or something like that. And now they take it away, and I did this mission right here. Not this mission, because I leave this mission because the lady. But I did the mission after this one, and I got... That happened during the stream. Hang on, let me think. No, not during the stream. It happened during the video. What was it I got? Like 1 health and 1 book and like 50 ammo. I spent more ammo doing the job. That kind of thing. Basically, the loot that you get from doing trader missions, even though it's basically mandatory that you do trader missions, they made it to where there's no real reason to do trader missions. So it was like a combo of people asking, why make traders important? Don't make it to where that's the only place you can get it, and they changed it from, now traders don't give you anything cool. They took the useful clothing options, which we did have, and they gave us standard magic armor, And then they gave us traders with more food options and took away the cheaper option from the vending machine. I don't know how many people are new to the game, but it used to be you could go to the vending machine and find the cheapest food. It wouldn't be stocked with a ton of food, but it would have food in there for your first couple of days, and it would be half the price, basically, of the trader. I don't know if it was exactly half the price, but it was a lot cheaper than the trader. Now they have the price from the trader and the vending machines the exact same price, and if you take medicine, the trader gives it to you cheaper, but that doesn't work on the vending machine, thereby making the vending machine a last-ditch effort in order to go find food. They put in options for 64 bad guys for the Horde, and apparently, I don't actually have this in front of me, I don't know where they found this information, but it was covered by, I guess, another content creator, that there is actually a hard cap at 30 in-game. So even though you might turn it on 64, that you will never get above 30. According to some file. Okay, then this one is a little bit multi-layered because this is like the evolution of vehicles in 7 days. We went from having one vehicle to having several different vehicles. They took away all zombie kill options. The vehicle doing mega damage, they took away our ability to mow down zombies with our vehicles by making it damage the vehicle a lot. They also took away the ability, now the damage on the zombies is not as much as it used to be, but it takes you longer to fix your vehicle now. So they nerfed it a different way. And also people were using their newfound vehicles for Horde nights, and then that got nerfed because now you have super vultures that show up and attack you and pick your vehicle up and damage it. Let's see, we had snow at one point, circa Alpha 16, 18, somewhere all in those areas. You could be in other biomes and get snow. We had actual snow weather patterns and stuff like that would happen. How exactly all of that stuff worked, those things are taken away, and now we only have the snow biome. We had... I've already forgotten which version of the game this was, but at one point the Fun Pimps added in a crit damage and promised us during dev streams and everything else that crit damage could never happen on the first hit. It is from accumulated damage. And I don't know about you, but I know for a fact there has been hundreds of times I have been not hit once. Run by a zombie that's hit me on a bike of all things and then broke my arm, which is critical damage. So that was taken out, and now they can, on first hit, do critical damage. And critical damage has to do with whether or not they can stun you, break a limb, give you an infection. All of those things are supposed to be covered under critical damage. And there's also plenty of times I've gotten, on my first hit, gotten infected. Of course, we still have the phantom swing, so who knows. And then we have... they gave us the farm plots and took away our immersive garden and our hoe. They stole our hoe. The pimp stole the hoe. So we don't have that anymore. Took away dysentery from our cans. At one point, this was like probably contested hotly. Like I said, it's not whether or not I agree or disagree on whatever the change was. It's just that these things were changed. At one point, whenever you got cans, aside from the chicken rations and the beef rations and stuff like that, the rations didn't have dysentery chance, but all of the other cans had dysentery chance. And food was easier to find back then because they didn't care if you had cans. You probably wouldn't eat them anyway, you'd sell them. So they took away the dysentery from the food and nerfed gardening. They made it to where you have to perk into it, otherwise there's no use in it. And in actuality, there is use in the gardening. It's just the way that I changed over doing gardening is just whatever seeds that you find, put them in your farm plots. That's it. Don't try and make seeds or anything else like that. The return is bad until you start putting points into it. So, I mean, you find seeds in loot a lot, so don't try to recover seeds from your plants. Plant it and get the harvest. Plant it and get the harvest, whatever it is you find. That's the only way, specifically early game, to be able to make farming useful at all. And then you also have to put together the farming plots, but they are expensive, but it's not like it's hard to come by the materials. But either way, they took away that immersiveness. The new character models, yes, but less customization on how you can get your character to look. They added a tutorial job with Wrecked, and then I think this actually happened after the streamer weekend that happened with that one. They nerfed it to where the first box was not going to give you any water or food. It used to be you could find your first day's food and water inside that box, and then they nerfed it because they realized people had too easy a start. And then the ability to pick crops with E, like you could go up and hit E on those. Now I have seen a lot of mods bring that back, and there's a lot of people who really like that instead of having to hit the plants. There's another one. At one time we had a blunderbuss and an iron reinforced club, plus a few other things, some other weapons that got taken out of the game, and now we have pipe weapons. So all of that was a lot of notes and a lot of days worth of thinking trying to figure all of that out. To say that there has been a push for the Fun Pimps to do changes to the game. And it's not like they haven't been changing the game and attempting to figure out how to balance the game out. There's been a lot of balancing, rebalancing, and stuff like that. My issue has come in whenever it seems like the changes that are implemented because of vindictiveness, if that makes any sense. Just for the purpose of this, let's just make sure that we're all on the same page about what I mean whenever I say vindictiveness, because if you add something to the game and you want to put it into the game and it be well balanced and nerf things that are too easy to come by, do things that make a little bit more sense for the flow of the game so you don't get an overabundance of things that you don't need early game, those types of changes are very important to the game that is balanced. Whenever you take something that people have been asking for and then you give it a big nerf that nobody asked for because you just don't like the idea of them being able to play the way you want them to play, that's vindictiveness. And that's actually what I was wanting to talk about, because I've seen that comment in a ton of my videos, them talking about all of the changes that the Fun Pimps have made have been gone from bad to worse, and a lot of the changes have to do with vindictiveness. Namely, the smell system was the one that kept coming up. People kept asking for the smell system to come back, but not only did they get the system that was there before, they got a big nerf on top of that. Not that the system that they wanted wasn't a nerf already. It was. The idea that people were asking for the game to be harder, and the Fun Pimp said, okay, well, you asked for it, take this along with it. So it's like dogpiling on the situation with the whole smell system. Do I think it's interesting that your character occasionally has to take a bath? Yes. Do I think it's poorly implemented? Yes, because there's no reason why when you eat a potato that a zombie should suddenly catch a whiff of a potato, turn into an Irish dude and start running down the road towards you. Or dogs or bears or any of that. There's no reason for that. That is the vindictive part of what it is I'm talking about. If they really and truly wanted to make a smell system, there can already be one. It's in the joke mod, actually, because your character can get stink over time from fighting zombies and getting all kinds of stuff and things. So the system also works. Plus, if they really, really heartfelt wanted to make it to where the game was more immersive, which a character needing to bathe is more immersive, if you wanted to do that, then it seems to me like there shouldn't have been something added into the game. Something that, I don't know, maybe holds water, you know? So you don't have to make one of those little blocks that you could pour water into like you're in Minecraft or something like that. Is there anything, I mean, even just like one thing, I don't care how big, how small, whatever, that is in the game right now that seems like it would be useful in this type of situation that could have been implemented and along with it to make it more immersive? To actually make this immersive. There are tubs in the game. There are faucets in the game. You should be able to take a bucket of water and pour it into your bathtub and take a bath. Just make it work and hold water, and your character can sit in it. There's a bath. Or activate it with E, and suddenly your character's not stinky anymore. I mean, that's like the most rudimentary way you can do it, but that does it. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be immersive. So anyway, that's mainly what I was talking about, is as we look to the future and all of the changes that are coming to the game and all the things that they're talking about, I have to step back and look at this objectively. In what way is this going to help the game, and in what way is there the nerf that's going to come in on the backside of it? Because there's always one. Every single time the Fun Pimps have decided to change something fundamental in the game, specifically if it's something that the community has asked for, then there's a bit of, haha, I gave you this, but now I'm going to do this attitude about these changes. Almost like this is their way of fighting back against the changes that are coming to the game because it's not the way they wanted it, so they're going to punish you by doing something else. And I've seen this time and time again with the vehicles, with the fixing of the vehicles, with not being able to use the vehicles during Horde Night. It goes way further back than that. The whole nerfing of the entire system in which you do Horde Nights, that's a thing. So it's like, okay, we can sit here and we can talk and look at all of the things and stuff that you are going to be adding to the game, but what are you going to slide into the game along with that to teach us a lesson for asking for things to make the game playable? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm coming to you guys for. I was really unsure of how to address all of this stuff, because this isn't the first time I've seen it in my comment section. It's been showing up in my comment section for a long time, that these changes are coming back not because, or these changes are done not in a way that truly helps the player. It helps and hinders the player, which, granted, some of that is actually balancing the game out to make sure it plays properly. Some of it is, in my opinion, vindictiveness, like the whole smell system. Some people are saying, yeah, I just turned it off. And that's all well and good, but how many of these different types of updates are we going to get where it's like, this was a cool idea and could have been very fun and useful, but then you went and put the thing in on the backside and made it unplayable? I'm coming to you, chat. I would love it if you guys would list it down in the comment section. Something that was not on my list, heck, you could probably reinforce the things, like if I said one thing and there was another thing that came along back behind it that changed it again, let me know down in the comment section. But this is definitely a topic that we need to be having, because every time they start saying, we're going to change this, we're going to implement this, we're going to do this thing, it worries me, because not because of the cool thing that they say they're going to bring, it worries me for the punishment that comes afterwards. It's like, here, you can have a cookie, but if you take a cookie, you're going to have to go wash those dishes. That's how it feels, like a parent is saying, okay, we're going to give you the thing that you want, but you're going to pay for it. And that's a big concern, seeing as how there's still a whole lot more development that needs to happen in the game, particularly if they decide they wanted to add in raiders, which they still seem keen on doing, but not keen on showing us any of the results of their work so far. I don't know. I have a feeling we're just going to wind up with NPC aimbots. So people will get the NPCs that they're looking for, but I don't think there's a way in hell we're not going to get aimbots. So I don't know. I'm very hesitant about future updates. I'm hopeful, but very hesitant. You guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I will see you guys next time. You have a wonderful day. And you stay shiny. Bye!